Well, hello there, Applebiteys. This is your Applebite Rafael Tavares talking to you straight from Borough in conjunction with It Came From the Radio. And we're here talking to
Sebastian, Bonet.
And Rich Dresden, creator of Luckyzilla.
Yes, and we're going to be talking about writer's process. How you like that? But first, we're going to learn a little bit about
Sebastian Bonet, artist, writer, and overall, too sweet guy.
All right, so tell us, what is it that you do?
Well, I like to do, as you can see here, I like to do a lot of little mashups, manga, anime, and comic mashups. Currently working on my series, Dead Planet, and also I just like to do a lot of fan art. That's about it.
So you said you have a comic book called Dead Planet?
Yep.
Great name, by the way. Tell us about it.
The Dead Planet is a sci-fi horror. The book is going to be made into a trilogy. I had released book 1 about 2 years ago. It's out of print right now. The whole book is being reworked. So we're actually redoing the whole story, the writing, everything, character development, because I'm all big about characters, because you remember The Thing, right?
Yeah.
What did you like about the movie? The characters.
Exactly, yeah.
It was a character drama, so that's what we're aiming for, and we want to aim for some really great illustrations with the book. So it's going to be re-released. It'll start as a webcomic, and then it's going to be released as a graphic novel.
Very good. So what's the story on this book?
Well, the first book is pretty much a mad scientist experiment that goes wrong. And I have fun making this mad scientist experiment go wrong. Think about the worlds of Aliens and The Thing kind of combining. And it's pretty much more of a focusing on a character drama and try to focus a little less on the creature. But when you do see the creature, these creature designs are going to make it look like, ew.
I get what you're saying. So you're pretty much a horror-based type of book.
That book, yeah, it's going to be a sci-fi horror. I like to dab into different genres. So this will be a sci-fi horror. Once that's done, I want to get into another story I want to get out there that's going to be more of a post-apocalyptic. But we'll save that one for a later date. And also another story I'm working with another friend of mine's. But Dead Planet, sci-fi horror. It's going to be a whole trilogy. And I'm kind of inspired by how they did all the old filmmaking where the first movie is different from the second movie, how they've done the sequels. So that's how it's pretty much going right now.
It sounds pretty good. It sounds like you gotta have a full plate going on.
I do, and I drive my wife crazy too, so it's a big full plate.
Well, once you marry a writer, you go crazy.
So created too, by the way. So.
Well, see, that makes it worse. That's two crazy people together.
Yes, crazy in love.
So, we know who you are, Mr. Luckyzilla, and tell our audience out there what Luckyzilla is, just to refresh their memory.
Well, Luckyzilla follows the adventures of ace detective Bruce Deodato, who is right over here. This is a piece from an experimental Luckyzilla board game, and he has the power to transform into this handsome devil right here. Hi. He flies, he wields electricity, he's super strong, super invulnerable, and he uses his powers to benefit mankind in the crime-ridden metropolis that is Massapequa Heights.
Massapequa Heights.
Yep. And Lucky is, a weekly comic strip, a comic book, which the new issue number 8 is out, covered by the dazzling Diana Lido. In addition to our comics, we sell frisbees with them, which are, if you spin them, the electricity kind of makes them frisbee. There are also spark pops, lollipops, black cherry flavor. There's an experimental, prototypical board game, and most recently, there is a kinda sorta flying toy, which is basically a paper airplane, but it flies terribly, thus the kinda sorta. And in our last episode...
Well, recently on Luckyzilla, well, now that we have that, we can start talking a little bit about the writer's process. Now, you're talking about your book here. When you were writing this, when you were creating this, bring us through the process of where and how you got there.
It's funny how this book started. The process for this book, I get influenced about little things that happen around me. One of the things, I read a story about how they were wanted to send people out to Mars on a one-way trip. So it started bubbling up from there. And then I just had sometimes when I have a dream about something, I'll get up, I'll write it down. So everything starts handwritten. It's just character names and ideas and just bullet points. From there, I'll turn those bullet points into words and stories and chapters. I'm gonna make sure I say that word right because I mess it up a lot. and so pretty much it's just building off of those bullet points and those bubbles. So it's just, if you see my book, it's a whole book I have like this, a little spiral journal of just ideas written down. That's it.
I was just talking to somebody else here, and the fact that what I like to do is, because sometimes there's too many ideas at the same time, so what ends up happening is I put a concept book next to me, and as I'm writing this over here, I have the concept book there in case something invades the mind, because as a writer, something's going to invade the mind, so I'll just go concept down and then keep writing over here, because you also know, if you don't write it down at that minute,
it's gone. It is gone. That's why you call it a concept book. I call it just my your think journal. And it's happened to me where I was I'll have a great idea, I won't write it down, and all of a sudden it's wait, what was that idea I was thinking about again? So even this could become your journal too. You have a notepad in this, the iPhone, great journal in there, regardless of what phone you have. You know how many stuff I have written in this?
Oh, I completely, because most of my stuff is in my phone.
Yeah, and so you have an idea, write it down. Don't be I'll just remember it later, because I know what? That Batman having a tuna salad, fighting the Penguin for it, that's not going to happen because you forgot to write it down.
Exactly. And that idea is gone, and nobody's going to find out if Batman had the tuna or not. So, our little friend over here was acting up, and we had to send him to the corner. But what is your writer's process? Take us through it.
Oh boy. Well, first and foremost, I have weaned myself off of writing things on paper because I lose those frequently. So, keyword, spreadsheet. If you don't know Excel, it's okay. There's a thing called Google Sheets. Google Sheets is awesome because it saves automatically, and anyways, I'm getting overly technical. Anytime I get an idea that I think is worth something, it goes in the spreadsheet, along with a possible title for it, possible length, if it's going to be a strip or if it's going to end up as a book. And when I plan in my schedule to publish it, once it goes into production, it gets a production number, and the production number is usually the number strip it is in the series. When I'm ready to write a script for it, like if it's next in the queue, I either go into a program called Celtics, which is CELTX.com. It's free software, highly recommended. If you use Final Draft, it's a lot like that. Or you can do it as a Google Doc with tables. The right side is going to be your panel numbers, and the left side is going to be your panel numbers. The right side is going to be everything that happens: the action, the dialogue, anything else that's pertinent. From there, once the script is written, then I'll start thumbnailing stuff just to kind of, sort of, see that the material is working. If I feel I need to do that, I don't always. Then from there, it goes into penciling. If it's a book, then it gets an extra spreadsheet for all the pages and panels that are on there. This way, if I feel a panel isn't necessary, I can just chop it out and it's gone. Then the rest is, as they say, history. Or hopefully history.
Sounds like good history.
Yeah.
All right, so if our people out there are looking for you, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Sebastian Bonet Art. You can also find me at The Nerds of the Round. It's a little show I do. Also, too, you can find me at SebastianBonetArt.net.
Now that you mentioned the Nerds of the Realm, tell us a little bit about that.
The Nerds of the Round, because I know I speak a little funny sometimes.
So do I.
It happens. The Nerds Around is just show that we all get together. It's a bunch of friends I host. It's a rotating group. We come up with different topics, and it's just talking about all the fun nerdy stuff that we like to do.
Nerds of the Realm, Nerds of the Round still sounds like a very good name to me.
I think we got a show right there. There we go, Nerds of the Realm. There we go.
Yeah, let's put them all both together. Nerds of the Realm, Nerds of the Round, forming together to fight for freedom and justice in the nerdy way.
Cheesecake.
Exactly, it's always cheesecake. So if they're looking for you, because we know where to find you, and we're always looking for Luckyzilla, where can we find you and Luckyzilla?
You can find us on Luckyzilla.com. All of our social media info is there. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Somehow we're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. And we have a YouTube channel, which we occasionally publish to. Every single week there's a new Luckyzilla comic strip on Luckyzilla.com on Monday morning at 9 a.m. And there's a new Luckyzilla comic book that comes out every season. Fingers crossed that it keeps happening that way. But I'm there.
Sounds like a blast. Now do yourself a favor and check both of these guys out, because you are doing yourself a favor. Because this is a creative force that will not be stopped.
That's right.